that you did comedy on the Philly subway, so on SEPTA. You would perform
Yeah.
comedy, and I'm reading this book called Ultra Learning. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or read it, but it talks about feedback. It talks about these principles of like how to master skill and that kind of thing. And one of them is feedback, and kind of to your point, is like put yourself in the toughest situation you can and get that feedback, because if that's the toughest situation you're going to be in, then every situation is going to be easier. So kind of walk me through how
Yeah.
you I don't know how, if you can tell me how old you were when you were doing this, how
Oh
long
yeah.
you were in comedy, you
This
were
was
started to do this, and then tell me about what that experience was like and what you learned from it.
Yeah, this was pretty early. Like I was probably about 23,
Mm-hmm.
and I had gone to an open mic a few times, feeling like I think I have something, I think I have something,
Mm-hmm.
but I was feeling like my stage fright was getting in the way. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm still too nervous. I'm
Mm-hmm.
too nervous. And like even my act outs, like my hand is shaking when I try to do an act out. And like
Yeah.
it's just
Mm-hmm.
and I was frustrated because I felt like I want to be stepping faster than this. And
Mm-hmm.
so um the idea was that I could break myself of stage fright if I conditioned myself to it. And
Mm-hmm.
this is just, I think really was me kind of like just playing off of what I know about working out and running track even. Like
Mm-hmm.
just condition yourself with the worst version of it
Mm-hmm.
and let's soften the real thing. So to me, I just remember thinking, what could be scarier than telling jokes on the train?
Mm-hmm.
I am terrified when people speak to me on the train.
Yeah.
No way they could make me laugh.
Yeah.
Let's see. And so the first time I did it, it just was I was blinded by fear. I mean, I just can't explain how terrifying. I used to have a group of friends like this, a married couple actually,
Yeah.
that would come with me and they wouldn't talk to me. So people would think that I was alone,
Yeah.
but they would sit in every car and just watch and make sure like nobody does anything too crazy.
Yeah.
And so the first day that we did it, we're sitting in the car silently and my friend motions to me like, come on, get up, do it. And I'm like, just give me a second, man. Like you don't even understand what this is like. And so then I would stand up and say, hey, you guys like comedy? Well, I'm a comedian. You're about to hear some. And I would just start telling jokes. But it taught me very naturally how to trim the fat. Because when
Mm-hmm.
you're watching people that close, you can see you have 5 seconds. You better get there. You better get there. You better get there.
Yeah.
It taught me how to play up when people like you, because if
Mm-hmm.
one person likes you, it's contagious and they'll
Mm-hmm.
start to spread, give them that love.
Yeah.
And I really only had to do it for maybe, I would say maybe like a month of
Okay.
just like a few times a week telling jokes on the train. And then I started trying to do it like after a Phillies game or after like when there was a lot of people
Oh yeah.
rowdy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it taught me such crowd control that when I went back to open mics, I was like, I'm dead inside. You know?
Do you suggest this for comics? Would this be a piece of advice that you would give a comic? It's like, hey, put yourself in.
No.
Oh, okay.
I would never tell another comic to go tell jokes on the train, and not unless you want to be a real maniac like me, because it was a crazy thing to do, but it definitely helped. But
Well,
that's what I think comedy takes. To be a comedian, you have to be a bit of a masochist.
yeah.
You can't totally follow the A to B line. Like you have to.
Yeah.
Do your own path.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only one other comedian that I know that has told jokes on the train, and that's Bernie Mac. He did it in the Chicago. So I mean, you might be onto something. If you guys are the only two that I know, and you guys have both done jokes on the train, maybe there's something to that or whatever.
I even told jokes a few times on the Patco, and that's when you get a laugh on the Patco, you got something.
But so what would be something? Give me an example. So I mean, I wasn't there with you when you were doing, but if let's say that you're on the train with me right now, you don't have to do your ad, but like, what would be something the first 5 seconds that you would get somebody like me to pay attention to you? What would you call me out specifically, or self-deprecate, or what would you do?
Oh no, I'm not talking about none of y'all. I mean, my go-to right now is to obviously introduce who I am and say like, hey, you might know me from Girl Code. I was in the last season of that show, which was also the last season of that show. Yeah. Like really quick, just a couple seconds. Here's a funny thing. Now you have something about me, and now we can roll into 4 more seconds of a setup until the next thing, you know? It really is a numbers game, a minutes game. How quickly can I get you on my team to then get you up to good laughter, you know?
And now, since you completed your album, and I'm sure you're now writing new material, are you still then looking for those introductory 5-second jokes? Is that something that you're consciously doing? Like, hey, I know you're probably not scrapping all your album material, but I know also, if I know you, if from what I see in the work that you've done, you're writing new material. Are you writing a new intro that you're purposely keeping to 5 seconds?
I try to, yeah, and I always say that with. I've given comedy lessons a few times. I always say that, like, if you're really trying to showcase, you need to get that laugh quick. And if you don't get that laugh quick, then the setup to the laugh that you're gonna get better be good. It better be a really big laugh. Like saying I was on this TV show and it's not a TV show anymore because of me, but I'm bump. Like that's a quick little whatever. It's a little giggle. Everybody moves forward. I used to have another opener. This is like when I first started. My very first opener was "Give It Up For Me." I just moved out of my grandmother's basement, and people would go, "Yay!" And I would go, "Now I'm on my aunt's couch." And they would go, and that was like my first opener ever. And I remember one time in Philly at an open mic, I heard somebody else do it, and I was like, I'll never say that opener again. And I never said that opener again because there can only be one. But yeah, you know, I always want to have a new opener, and I just like sometimes at a show things are happening and you just have to talk about what's happening in the room. But I do like the safety of knowing, like, I'm going to say this quick line, everybody's going to like it, and then we're going to move forward. I just like it. Now,